Ladies and gentlemen, they will ask you why you are so expensive, why you refuse shortcuts, why you walk away when you could easily settle, why your silence feels heavier than their noise. They will say you have changed, that you are difficult, that you think too highly of yourself. But the truth is, you didn't become expensive overnight. You paid the price in discipline, in heartbreak, in lonely nights where you chose growth over comfort and integrity over applause. This world is loud with opinions and cheap with principles. It rewards speed but forgets depth, praises success but questions self-respect. And in such a world, maintaining your values feels like swimming against the current. Yet values are not accessories you wear when convenient. They are the backbone you stand on when everything else shakes. You don't explain your cost because your cost is not arrogance, it is history, sacrifice, and self-honor. Today, this is not a speech about proving yourself. This is a reminder about protecting yourself. About standing so rooted in who you are that explanations become unnecessary. Because when your values are clear, your silence speaks louder than any defense. Your values are your identity, not a negotiation. Your values are the invisible framework of your life, the silent force that holds you upright when the world presses on every side, and the compass that guides you when every path seems tempting. They are not negotiable, and they are not optional. They are forged in moments when no one is watching, when you are faced with choices that could be easier, faster, or more profitable if only you were willing to compromise. It is in those moments when the rewards of bending, adjusting, or surrendering appear tangible that your values whisper the loudest, reminding you that what you are building in your soul cannot be measured in applause or approval. Your values define the way you treat others when no one is looking, the way you act when recognition is absent, and the way you respond when the world expects you to be less than who you are. They are your identity because they are the threads of your character that cannot be borrowed, stolen, or imitated. To compromise them is to deny your own essence, and no short-term convenience can ever be worth that cost. Every compromise chips away at the foundation of who you are, slowly eroding confidence and leaving an emptiness that no achievement can fill. Every time you give in to pressure, every time you lower your standards to fit someone else's expectations, the world may reward you temporarily, but inside, you feel the hollow echo of having sold yourself short. It starts subtly, the small concessions, the silent agreements to things you know are not right, and before you know it, you are living a life dictated by the demands and assumptions of others rather than by your own principles. This is why values are sacred, why they are not negotiable, and why the cost of maintaining them is a price worth paying. Because without them, you are building a life on sand, no matter how golden it appears on the surface. Values are not only tested by the decisions you make in moments of comfort, but they are forged and strengthened in the moments of pain, failure, and rejection. When people criticize you, when they abandon you, when opportunities vanish because you refuse to compromise, that is the crucible where your identity is strengthened. It is when you choose honesty over convenience, patience over rage, and integrity over temporary gain that you understand the power of your own standards. You learn that a life lived with principles, even if it is lonely, is infinitely more fulfilling than a life lived with constant concession. Your values become your identity when you choose to honor them, even when it hurts, even when no one notices, even when the world tempts you to surrender. When you finally embrace the truth that your values are your identity and never a matter of negotiation, everything changes. You stop seeking validation, you stop justifying your choices, and you stop shrinking to meet others' expectations. You understand that explaining your worth or your principles is unnecessary because the way you live your life is your testimony. People may misunderstand, criticize, or even resent you, but their opinions can never penetrate the foundation that your values have built. You walk with dignity, act with intention, and love with clarity, knowing that your identity is untouchable, unwavering, and entirely your own. To maintain your values is to honor yourself. And when you honor yourself, the world may challenge you, but it can never diminish the strength that comes from knowing exactly who you are. Silence is a form of self-respect. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. It is the quiet understanding that not every question deserves an answer. Not every opinion deserves your energy. And not every misunderstanding requires explanation. There is a wisdom in knowing when to speak and when to let actions do the talking. When you are constantly defending yourself, clarifying your choices, or justifying your worth, you are giving pieces of your peace to people who may never truly see or understand it. Silence, on the other hand, is a shield that preserves your energy, protects your dignity, and allows your life to communicate what words cannot. It is the ability to exist unapologetically in your truth while others try in vain to define it for themselves. When people fail to understand you, when they judge without knowing, when they assume instead of listening, that is when silence becomes your strongest ally. Explaining yourself repeatedly not only drains your energy, but also subtly teaches people that they are entitled to the story behind every boundary you set. Silence, however, speaks volumes. It is an unspoken declaration that your life, your principles, and your choices are not up for debate. Those who truly respect you will sense it, and those who do not will simply be revealed by it. In this way, silence is not passive, it is an active form of self-respect, a demonstration of the boundaries you refuse to cross for anyone, no matter how persuasive they appear. There is also a profound strength in recognizing that some people are not confused, they are committed to misunderstanding you. They will twist your words, misinterpret your intentions, and challenge your values, because it is easier for them to cast doubt than to reflect on their own standards. In such moments, every word you give them is a seed they will use to sow confusion or judgment, but your silence preserves clarity. By refusing to argue with ignorance or negotiate your principles, you rise above the noise and maintain authority over your own life. Silence, then, is a signal of self-mastery, a way to honor your inner voice over the clamor of external pressure. Ultimately, silence teaches you patience, humility, and self-trust. It reminds you that life does not require constant justification, that respect earned through presence and integrity is far more enduring than respect demanded through words, and that the most powerful people in history are often those who spoke less but acted with unwavering conviction. By embracing silence, you refuse to deplete your energy on those who cannot appreciate it, you prioritize your growth over temporary approval, and you protect your soul from the unnecessary weight of constant explanation. In choosing silence, you claim your peace, your strength, and your identity, and you demonstrate that your worth cannot be measured by how much you defend it. Your life, your actions, and your unwavering presence do all the explaining for you. Your cost reflects your standards, not your ego. Your cost is not a reflection of arrogance or pride. It is a reflection of the value you place on yourself and the life you refuse to compromise. Every boundary you set, every no you speak, and every principle you maintain comes at a price because it requires courage, discipline, and unwavering self-respect. The world will sometimes mistake this for ego, for being difficult or expensive, but the truth is that what you demand of yourself and from others is what ensures that your life remains aligned with your standards. You are not asking too much. You are simply refusing to settle for less than what you are worth. Your cost includes every sacrifice you have made to maintain integrity, every moment of discomfort you endured to rise above shortcuts, and every instance where you chose personal growth over temporary comfort. When people ask why you are so hard or high maintenance, they fail to see the invisible work behind the person standing firm, the emotional maturity, the self-discipline, and the hours of relentless effort that shaped your character. Your standards are the invisible currency of your life, and the more precious your time, energy, and principles, the more expensive it naturally becomes to meet you on your terms. Those who understand effort and honor will respect your cost. Those who do not will question it endlessly. The difference lies not in your value, but in their ability to perceive it. You do not need to justify why you prioritize quality over quantity, depth over popularity, and principle over convenience, because your life will eventually reflect your worth in ways words never could. Every choice you make to uphold your standards becomes a silent lesson to others that being cheap in compromise leads to a cheapened life, and that walking with integrity always carries a price. Ultimately, your cost is a mirror of your character, a demonstration of self-respect, and a testament to the life you are building intentionally. It is not for the approval of others, nor is it a tool to intimidate. It is simply the standard you set for yourself and the respect you expect from anyone who wishes to step into your world. By embracing your cost, you protect your energy, honor your journey, and remind yourself and the world that the life you live is priceless because it is lived on your terms, in alignment with your principles, and without compromise. Loneliness is sometimes the price of integrity. Integrity is a lonely road because it demands choices that not everyone is willing to make. When you refuse to compromise on your values, people may leave, opportunities may pass by, and you may feel isolated in moments when the world seems to favor shortcuts and convenience. Loneliness is the shadow of integrity, the quiet reminder that walking alone is sometimes the only way to maintain alignment with your principles. Choosing comfort over correctness may keep you surrounded, but choosing integrity ensures that every step you take is on solid ground and that the life you build will be unshakable from within. When you maintain your integrity, you will discover who truly respects you and who only pretends to, because the cost of walking with honesty and self-respect is often too high for many to bear. People will question your decisions, misunderstand your priorities, and at times even ridicule your principles. But these moments are the test of your strength, the refining fire that separates those who merely accompany you from those who belong in your journey. In this loneliness, you learn resilience, clarity, and the courage to trust your own judgment above all else. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is a companion for those who refuse to compromise their values. It teaches patience, introspection, and self-reliance. When you are willing to stand alone rather than bend, you invite a deeper connection with yourself and with those who truly align with your path. The absence of the unworthy makes space for the worthy to enter, and in that quiet, your life becomes a reflection of unwavering principles rather than a noisy conformity to fleeting expectations. The price of integrity is often solitude, but it is also freedom. Freedom from the burden of explanations, freedom from the anxiety of living to please others, and freedom to create a life that is entirely your own. Those who walk this path discover that the loneliness is temporary, but the strength, peace, and self-respect gained through it are lifelong. You may walk alone, but every step taken with integrity strengthens your character, sharpens your vision, and prepares you for the people, opportunities, and life that truly deserve you. Let results be your explanation. You do not owe anyone a detailed account of your choices, your sacrifices, or your worth, because your life itself will speak louder than any argument ever could. When you invest in yourself, protect your boundaries, and honor your principles, the results of your actions become the testimony of your integrity. People may question your decisions, criticize your pace, or misunderstand your path, but when your results align with your values, the world has no choice but to recognize your dedication and your worth. Your life, lived with consistency and purpose, becomes a powerful explanation without words. Let your growth, your calm, and your resilience answer questions that others cannot understand. When you maintain standards and refuse shortcuts, When you honor yourself, even when it costs you relationships or temporary gains, every achievement becomes a demonstration of the work behind your principles. Results do not just reflect success. They reflect the character, the sacrifices, and the discipline that are invisible to casual observers. Your achievements are the echoes of your decisions, and their resonance requires no justification. Those who truly care will recognize the effort behind your results, and those who cannot understand will eventually see the proof in your life. When you let results speak, you stop wasting energy on explanations, you preserve your peace, and you reinforce the strength of your own principles. It is not arrogance to show what you are capable of. It is courage, it is honesty, and it is the clearest expression of self-respect, because every result represents a choice to honor your identity, your values, and your standards above all else. Ultimately, results are the living evidence of the life you are building. They eliminate the need for constant defense, expose the emptiness of baseless criticism, and inspire others to respect boundaries they may have once challenged. By focusing on growth, action, and integrity rather than justification, you allow your life to answer the questions that words never could. And you demonstrate to the world that maintaining your values and refusing to explain your cost is not a burden. It is the path to a life of dignity, peace, and undeniable power. In the end, the journey of maintaining your values and refusing to explain your cost is not an easy one, because it asks you to stand firm when the world expects compromise, to walk alone when companionship comes with conditions, and to prioritize your integrity over temporary comfort. But the strength you gain from honoring yourself is unmatched. The peace that comes from living in alignment with your principles is undeniable, and the life you create becomes a beacon of resilience, courage, and authenticity. Every boundary you uphold, every sacrifice you endure, and every choice to remain true to yourself strengthens the foundation of your identity, reminding you that no external approval can ever replace the value of inner alignment. When you choose to live by your values without explanation, you send a silent message to the world that self-respect is not negotiable, that your worth cannot be discounted, and that your life is built on a principle stronger than opinion, criticism, or misunderstanding. The cost of standing firm may feel high at times, but the rewards are eternal, a life of dignity, clarity, and undeniable strength. Let your actions, your calm, your growth, and your unwavering integrity speak for you. Because when you live fully in your truth, the world will witness your value without question. And you will finally experience the freedom, respect, and inner peace that comes from being unapologetically yourself.